In the headlines, black marketers exploit motorists as fuel scarcity persists. Federal High Court denies suspended DCP Abakari bail. 130 Nigerians now safe in Romania. And on the foreign scene, Ukraine lists demands wants Russian soldiers withdrawn as Russia-Ukraine start first peace talks since invasion. Hello and welcome to Trust TV News Update. I am Zainab Bala. Hello and welcome. Fuel shortage is taking its toll on motorists as many often sleep at petrol stations just to get unadulterated products at official pump price. Black marketers take advantage of the situation to sell fuel at exorbitant rates. A black marketer speaks with Trust TV on how he beats long fuel queues to get the commodity for resale. Trust TV's Mardi Omar reports.
A common sight along many streets is young boys holding jerrycans and funnels or hoses, or combination of all three. They chase after cars to sell petrol, which they have purchased from the petrol stations. Umar Jibril is one of such black marketers.
So I don't know if they have no get well, but every day with a CQ. With a CQ, me kuma I be black market person. Sometimes me are the happy for down, sometimes me I know the happy because of at the suffer. At the enter police station buy, sometimes at the enter some Okada people now in they buy for me buy me I get something inside. Because of Nigeria don't spoil everywhere in a chua then they.
So you now you they buy like 3,000 naira. If you can't come outside, you can't they sell on like 9,000 naira. Why? The money not too much.
Not too much for me because of the suffer why the suffer before I get out.
How you they take suffer? You they 90 nights now they buy.
I then buy in the night, I then buy in the morning, early morning, around 5. I then buy them from police station, I then buy them from Okada people, I then buy them from people chua. Yes, Abuja for Abuja here. Okay. Some I then buy them for Nasarawa, some I then buy them for Akonga. That is why they suffer to sell higher price.
He attributes his hustle to hardship faced on daily basis in the country. But is there any justification for taking advantage of a difficult situation to milk others dry? Mardia Umar, Trust TV News, Abuja.
There you go, what an outcry. Now, bandits have killed many people, including a father and his son, in separate attacks in Mashegu, Lavung, and Wushishi local government areas of Niger State, with many residents displaced in the attacks which occurred between Friday and Saturday. The media aide to Mashegu Local Council chairperson Muhammad Isa, who confirmed the attack, said the chief of staff of the council chairperson Umar Ubegi and his father were among those killed during the attack. According to residents, bandits also killed the village head of Poshi community as well as 7 others in Sahorami and Meshinkafi. Reports say the bandits moved from one village to the other on motorcycles, killing and abducting people, and also rustled cows belonging to villagers, while about 13 communities were sacked. While in Lavung Council area, 10 villages were reportedly attacked, leaving at least 3 persons dead, while 3 others were kidnapped. The latest attack in the state followed that of Shiro local government area, where 4 officers of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps were killed by suspected Boko Haram terrorists at Galadi Mankogo community using explosives. Meanwhile, about 8 worshippers have been abducted by terrorists while attending a church service at Salama Baptist Church in a village called Gidigori in Rafi local government area of Niger State. Reports say the incident occurred on Sunday, adding that the pastor of the church is among the abductees. Elsewhere, Burma residents have expressed fear of returning to their farmlands since their resettlement in the community ravaged by Boko Haram insurgency. The residents said they feel vulnerable outside of the town as they could be attacked by Boko Haram if they venture out to the farms. Burma is among many communities captured and controlled by terrorists during the campaign of Boko Haram. Our reporter visits Burma to see what life looks like to the resettled community.
Burma town looks busy today. It's free flow of traffic. Residents, as usual, attend to their legitimate activity for the day. Many years ago, these streets were ghost to itself, and the town suffered attacks of Boko Haram, leaving massive destructions and many displaced. For the resettled residents, it's good being home again, but they are afraid to return to their farmlands.
People are very, very okay now. People are trooping in. The marketplace is very okay. The transport area is very busy, as you can see. And Burma is waking up. Good time. The intervention we need from government now is to just look at the people here that are in it, to give them a very good response pertaining their living condition.
Why we haven't returned to the farm is because it's not safe. These terrorists are still loitering in the bush. That's what is hindering us from farming, and commodities are very expensive in the market. Like before, a mudu of maize is sold at 150 naira, but now it's 700 naira. If government will still help us clear these people, we will be happy. We want them to give us food. Honestly, that's what we need. We have children who are studying, and the little ones are not in school. One of them have not finished his NCE because he can't study without eating. Since the return to the palace, the Shehu of Burma discovered that about 8,000 children were out of school. Umar ibn el-Kanami is dismayed that with the destroyed learning facilities, the children may be soft targets for terrorists.
We have identified about 8,000 school out of children, and that is the official figure. That's the ones we are able to identify, but this number is much more higher than this. My fear is, before the advent of Boko Haram, when schools were everywhere, you can find school in every village, but yet Boko Haram were able to, in succeeding by, recruiting these children into their sect. So now that schools are not everywhere, those children were sitting idle. It will become very easy for them to, put them back to their sect. So for this reason alone, we need to do more, even more than before.
With normalcy restored to Burma local government, many hope that those who are yet to resettle will do so and help restore the town to its full glory.
A tragic story there. Still ahead, a federal high court, Abuja, on Monday, refused to grant the bail application of suspended Deputy Commissioner of Police, Abakari. Justice Iyan Geko, in a ruling, said the application had been overtaken by events following an order of a sister court granting the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency's prayers to detain Kyari for another 14 days to enable it to conclude its investigation. Justice Eko held that the sister court, which gave the order in favor of NDLEA on February 22nd, is a court of coordinate jurisdiction. However, he said it inclined to hear Kyari's fundamental enforcement rights suit with the urgency it deserves after the expiration of the 14-day court order. He then adjourned until March 15th to hear Kyari's application to demand his fundamental right enforcement. National Association of Nigerian Students, NANS, on Monday took to the streets in Abuja and cities in the country to demand an end to the ongoing ASUU strike. Recall that NANS had threatened to shut down Nigeria beginning Monday if the federal government and the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASUU, failed to resolve their differences to allow students go back to school to continue their academic programs. Details of this story will come in our subsequent bulletin. Signing of the Electoral Amendment Bill into law and release of election timelines by the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) continue to elicit reactions from Nigerians. Some electoral stakeholders in Bauchi State say early preparation will bring sanity and hope to Nigerians. Adamu Imam reports.
Barely 24 hours after President Muhammadu Buhari signed the long-awaited electoral bill that many Nigerians are expecting to change the political atmosphere and the conduct of the election process in the country. Some of the concerned electorates have aired their views on the matter.
There was yesterday or so. Yeah. It was a very good one actually, and it's very, very important because the time frame it's a little bit long because we have all the electorates and all the political parties, they have an ample time to sit down and digest whatever it is necessary because of the time frame. Because if I didn't INEC draw the whole program very close, I believe it will have been something else. So given by the nature of what the political activities is in Africa, particularly Nigeria, is a very important thing because our people always need time. Actually, the signing of Mr. President is a very important one. You know, a lot of people have different misconceptions. They have their own ideas, they have their own thinking towards each and every particular thing that Mr. President has done, especially the opposition. But it is a very, very important thing he has done because when you just look at what Mr. President did, he's always doing it so that it will favor the masses. But most of these things they will not understand at this point in time. But when maybe in the nearest future, people will come to understand that it is the Mr. President has already done a very good impact and it's a very good one.
Meanwhile, they also maintain that Nigerians representative at the National Assembly should look at the area Mr. President urged them to make some amendments without any further delay in the interests of the whole Nigerians.
For the INEC by Professor Muhammad is a welcome development actually. It has boosted the morale of the electorate, or I can say the political elite, so that they can speed up in their primary elections and convention, because most of them are waiting for that timetable to be out. Since now the timetable is out, they are actually, he has boosted their morale so that they can prepare so early, the earlier the better. Now you can see that the political people have started campaigning for their various political posts or seats so that they can be elected in the next coming general election.
Nigeria has already get what we call real democracy, because without this, things will be going just anyhow. As INEC bring out this timetable, it really shows that they are working well, and this administration, they are ready to just make things in order. So, as this timetable is out, I'm happy, and this will just make those politicians to just be, on their feet to do what they're supposed to do, because of the election has not, been postponed as they were thinking. As INEC brings out this timetable, I'm very happy with it.
According to them, it is now left for political parties to do what is expected of them, to bring out a credible candidate through internal democracy that is rancor-free, so that Nigerian democracy will move forward. Adam Imam, Trust TV News, Bauchi.
Begging for arms has turned into business in Katsina and some northern states facing insecurity. The activities of bandits and terrorists have sacked many farming communities, subjecting innocent people to untold hardship, with many resorting to begging. Many children and businesswomen are now homeless, begging for food to keep body and soul together. Abdullahi Yamadi has the details of this report.
In Katsina State, there is no official camp for the internally displaced persons to cater for the shelter, food or schools for their children. This group of people are seen almost on every street, premises of restaurants, filling stations, and even financial institutions armed with plastic plates begging for alms. In recent times, begging was practiced by people living with disabilities, vulnerable women and children, among others. Another group is that of Al-Majiris, a system which was meant to inculcate Islamic virtues in the youth, but degenerated into a practice characterized by unwholesome and inhuman activities. The most worrisome part of begging practice is engaging school-aged children who are supposed to be in schools to acquire both Islamic and Western education for self-reliance. These desperate women and children say begging for what to eat remain their daily hustle, with the hope that one day they will return to their ancestral homes when peace is restored. We are only here to beg for what to eat. We have been displaced. We don't have anything to eat. We didn't bring anything along to eat. And therefore we must beg for what to eat. I was a large-scale farmer, and I was engaged in animal husbandry. But unfortunately, as a result of this insecurity, I abandoned everything in the village. I'm here in the city to beg for what to eat. I have 2 wives and some children. You see, there's nothing I can do. Malam Rufai Ahmad sheds light on how Islam views begging. Islam does not encourage begging. It encourages self-reliance. As such, most of the people begging are not practicing begging because they are practicing it following teachings of Islam. No, it's un-Islamic. It is un-Islamic. So people should be self-reliant. Some public commentators looked at the practice beyond the economic perspective, and they attributed it to the failure in family and societal values, where many abandoned their responsibilities, either as parents or as leaders. This situation calls for immediate response from political actors, not just about policy formulation, but also by introducing implementable poverty alleviation programs that can take these beggars off the streets and allow their children go back to schools. This will go side by side with removing the economic barriers on education, health, and other important sectors to provide equal opportunity to the poor and other vulnerable groups, access to health care delivery and education, thereby bridging the wide gap between the rich and the poor. Experts say this practice of begging, if left unchecked, will continue to hamper government's commitment to ensure education for all and put more pressure on the already fragile peace being enjoyed by people in some parts of Katsina State. Abdullahi Ismayamadi, Trust Television News, Katsina.
You're watching Trust TV News Update. Coming up. Combat ready against rapists. Details of this story and more after the break. Do stay. Welcome back. If you are just joining us, this is Trust TV News Update. Here are our top stories. Fuel shortage is taking its toll on motorists, as many often sleep at petrol stations just to get an unadulterated product at official pump price. The Federal High Court, Abuja, on Monday refused to grant the bail application of suspended Deputy Commissioner of Police, Abakari. Still ahead, Nigeria Center for Disease Control (NCDC) logged 24 infections across 6 states and the Federal Capital Territory. According to the agency in its update for Sunday, February 27th, the data shows 20 discharges were recorded with no deaths recorded, leaving the fatality figure at 3,142. The country now has a total of over 200,000 confirmed cases and over 200,000 recoveries. Every girl and boy deserve to grow up free from harm. Yet, gender-based violence continues, effectively ending their childhoods and risking their future. While both girls and boys are negatively impacted, girls are particularly vulnerable. Children Initiative is teaching young girls martial arts and how to be confident in speech as a form of defense against abuse.
Currently, the one we're doing now is ability for them to have themselves secure in the face of this menace that is going on now, which is child rape. Every minute, you keep on hearing a child is raped or molested, basically because they came from the area where there are some basic things that they are supposed to know, which they didn't know, which number one, I think, is self-defense. Every child needs to protect his or herself. And you know what happens when around you see children that are not well secured? What will happen to them when every minute you see somebody taking advantage of them? Like the one that happened recently in our area. A child of 9 was raped. And this happened because the child doesn't have voice to speak out for herself. Had it been the child has passed through these trainings, one thing we used to tell them in this particular training is this: no matter what happens, the first thing or the first weapon you have is your voice. Once you shout, give or take, 1 or 2 persons will come out and either assist them or try to stop the act. But when children sees it as if they don't have anything to do when they are in such kind of situation, it now becomes a problem to our society. What we're trying to tell everybody now is, if you have any way you can register your child for a martial art class, it is a welcome idea.
In the course of our discussion, the creator of Child Dream Initiative made mention of a girl whom he is particularly proud of. He showed me this, and I got chills down my spine.
I'm afraid that one day someone will wake me up and tell me I'm no longer in Nigeria. Come to think about it. Do you think I would like to watch this nation fall? Do you really think I would like to watch this nation fall in the hole of self-hate, shame and reproach? This is just the cry of a Nigerian child.
But with a smile on the face, the professor asked, "How heavy is this glass I'm holding?" Students shouted out answers ranging from 8 ounces to a couple of pounds.
I would love to talk to you all about this dance called life.
I'm here to meet Ella, who is a beneficiary of Child Dream Initiative.
This is 11-year-old Ella. She got enrolled into Child Dream Initiative by accident. The creator got to her at a time her parents were finding difficulty paying her school fees. He took it upon himself as a service to humanity.
Hello, my name is Emanuela John. I'm a proud beneficiary from the Child Dream Initiative. I'm actually passionate about public speaking and I love motivating people. And I want to be a lawyer. In some societies, in some societies, you see, they don't take girls the way they take boys. Like for example, if they want to take, if a father has a male and a boy and a girl, the father will prefer sending the boy to school than sending the girl to school because he thinks that the girl is actually going to end up in the kitchen and there's no need for him paying her school fees and getting her educated or stuff like that. But I think that the girls have equal rights to the boys and should not be treated that way because the girls have potentials that even boys don't have, because what a boy can do, a woman can do better. There's this program that has actually been set up by our coach for a martial act for the girl child to be able to defend themselves and be confident to speak in public. The program is really nice, and mostly is about the girls being confident about themselves and not be able to fear, because they're actually, people take advantage of them and they tend to have less courage of themselves. They underestimate themselves. So the martial act is just like an organization, or rather is it a club or something that helps them to build confidence and believe in themselves.
Ella showed me some moves she had learned in the martial art class. According to findings by a national survey on violence against children published by the National Population Commission and UNICEF, violence against children is a pervasive problem in Nigeria, with 6 out of every 10 children in the country suffering one or more forms of physical, sexual, or emotional violence before they reach 18.
Federal Ministry of Foreign Affairs on Monday says 130 Nigerians have been received by the country's embassy in Romania. In a statement issued by the ministry's permanent secretary, Gabriel Aduda, he explained that the ministry has also provided accommodation for the Nigerians while arrangements are being made to take them back home, noting that officials at Budapest, Hungary have received and accommodated 74 Nigerians safely. According to him, another batch of about 200 Nigerians are expected in Budapest later in the day, while 52 persons have been received in Warsaw, Poland. Out of the number, 23 are being processed at the Polish government reception point at Hala Kijowska. The federal government's recent move is a sequel to the Russian invasion of Ukraine about 5 days ago. On Sunday, the ministry said the Hungarian and Romanian governments have approved visa-free access to Nigerians coming from the Eastern European nation. And on the foreign scene, Ukraine demanded an immediate Russian ceasefire and troop withdrawal on Monday as a Kiev delegation arrived for talks with Russian negotiators on the 5th day of the Kremlin's offensive against the country. In a statement ahead of the peace talk on Monday, the Ukrainian president said the delegation arrived at the Ukrainian-Belarusian border to take part in talks with representatives of the Russian Federation, with the key issue of the talks for immediate ceasefire and the withdrawal of troops from Ukraine. He also demanded an immediate European Union membership for Ukraine. Russia invaded Ukraine on Thursday, sending shockwaves around the world, with the Ukrainian military accusing Russia of launching a missile strike on residential buildings in the cities of Zaymor and Cherkiv cities in the country's northwest and north. And that's it on News Update. Do not forget to follow us across all our social media platforms. I'm Zainab Bala. Thanks for your time and company.